What's going on, traders? I hope everybody had a great day. I want to do a recap of the S&P 500 for you guys. Thursday, February 16th. Now, yesterday we were looking at this bull flag, a nice close over the trend line, looking like a breakout. I was mentioning, though, that this could potentially be a fake break. So I had that definitely in the back of my mind. And as you can see, and we'll go over, of course, the intraday price action a little bit later. But as you can see, we did not actually break out of this flag. We got pushed back down into it. Now we're back, in this zone. We could potentially, come down and retest the low here and just stay in this kind of long extended flag. That's a possibility, but definitely interesting developments. I'm glad that we were aware that that break here could be a fake out, and today it showed that it was. Now, of course, we did have Fed Speaker Bullard come in and say he wouldn't rule out 50-point basis increase in the next meeting, and the markets did react to that news. So we also sold off because of those comments, which were a little bit more hawkish from Fed Speaker Bullard. VIX also was coming into a key level. I posted on my Twitter, if you are following me, the 1850 level has been very strong and certainly an area of interest, and we saw a strong reaction off of it today, with VIX actually closing back above 20 just slightly. Final print close on that was 2017, so not huge close over that, but definitely something we want to take note of. So let's just look at some buyers here and some liquidity. Let's just switch over really quickly. Oh no, that's not right. Okay, and also yesterday, we were looking at this as well, and we were talking about this, all these sellers here up in this area, which was also a little bit of a concern to me. And you can see here they tried to push up, but were not able to and got yanked back down. But now we're coming into an area where it could be some definitely more tricky trading. Tomorrow we do have Opex, by the way, so options expiration could lead to volatility or choppy. We don't know, but it is something that we want to keep in our minds. We have a long weekend as well. Monday is President's Day, so the market is closed. So those are some other factors that could lead to more participants not being involved tomorrow and seeing a little bit more tricky and complex trading conditions, where you might want to size down and err on the side of caution. Watch for those fake breaks in either direction and just inconsistency. So I have to mention, of course, here with these buyers, levels that we want to look for as potential support that they can hold here. This 406.50, we call it 55 here, all the way down to 403.66. So for me, if we're breaking under that 406.50, we have that 405 pivot to contend with. Then this is speaking from a downside perspective. Then I'd be looking. I would think that bears would want to come and try and test 404. If they can get under that 404, I'd be looking then as a bear for 403.15. And if that can break and confirm, the next downside target for me would be 401.80. If that breaks, then my ultimate target would be 400. So let's watch for those levels on the downside, and we'll certainly talk about some levels to the upside as well, although they should be pretty established at this point because we've kept on coming up to these same zones multiple times, where price has either been drawn to or reacted off of, and we'll get into that when we go a little bit deeper into today's price action. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention, of course, now here we're stuck between this bearish order block and this bullish order block. So tomorrow we could go and ping pong around, and that's not the best market conditions to really be engaging much, but we'll see. Personally, I'll be sizing down a little bit tomorrow, lowering my expectations. It might even take a half day. We'll see what the market is looking like. All right, so now I also wanted to mention here we did close below the daily 9 again at 410.43. We are sitting, well, I guess, we closed above the daily 20, but did we sell a little bit? No, we're still above it here in after hours. So let's watch that 406.95 as well. All right, guys, so let's look at the price action today. And, I've had a lot of fun, trading this market. And I'll show you guys why. And I'll try to break it down for you really simple. Let's just go here. Here. And okay, cool. So let's look at this price action here. Now, I was talking about, if you're following me on Twitter, again, I had said 5 times the charm. I had mapped out this level here. Now, we sold off sharply in Globex and sold off here, but you can see we came in, reacted, sold. Came in, reacted, sold. Here, a little bit of a fake break, but this whole zone, I could extend this little circle, but again, look what happened. Sold. This, a little bit again, fake break, but we came up, tried to touch it, we sold. Okay, so this, is pretty easy. Now, as far as the longs are concerned, which I took a long today when we were selling off, I posted again on my Twitter. Oh, I bet you guys are all piling in short, this morning, and I said that kind of as a warning. Because I had pretty strong conviction we were going to go the other way. And why was that? First off, such a sharp move down. So what happens, when we see a sharp move down right before the market opens? This, the markets are like a rubber band. A sharp move down like this is going to, of course, give you a snapback counter reaction. And you can see, all this, the imbalance here from this candle, all this liquidity needed to be worked out. And so you saw it come back up into this, this area and fill all those orders and work itself out. And, I caught along. I had mentioned, I believe, in previous videos and on Twitter, again, the 409.55 was, the confirmation, or 409.50. Confirmation for me for more of a long trade, is that key demand level. Well, now it's supply, of course, as we sold off. But look what happened again. And this is, we got in long pretty much at the lows here. I think we got 86% on calls and about, I think it was 27 points in futures. I don't know, I'd have to look back, but it was something like that, 27, 25, somewhere in that range. So it was a great day, playing the long here. But let's look back now again to these areas and what happened. Now this one was off the 409.55 yesterday. Whoops. This one here was off the 409.55, and so was this one. As a potential move, but you can see what happened. Came right into the zone, buyer reaction, right into the zone, buy reaction, right into the zone, buy reaction. These were the highs from, was this Friday, I believe? I think so. These were the highs, retesting those highs there. Very simple. Don't need to overcomplicate it. Okay. Now, for the short today. Now, I was mentioning before about Bullard coming in with a slightly more hawkish, statement or whatever, saying about the 50 basis points. But it was no coincidence where it came out, especially if you know Anna Cooling and volume price analysis. Look where it came out. What do we have here? Sell reaction, sell reaction, sell reaction, news. And if you were interested in just taking that short on a potential double top or whatever, if you had these levels marked out, you could have taken that short and caught, this move, of course, was a bit exaggerated from Bullard. Probably wouldn't have sold this much, but this is still, a trade that you could have taken and you would have really been, paid on that. But, I hope you guys can see here that, again, I'm a big proponent of, KIS, keep it simple, stupid. We don't need to be super complicated with all this, mumbo jumbo. I mean, it's just, you do your homework, your prep beforehand, short, buy. You can see why this was a short before, buy, okay? Very, very easy, very elementary. If you're supposed to be able to explain this stuff to like a 5-year-old, or a 10-year-old. If you can't do that, in my opinion, it's too much. So, I'm actually going to put in a little line here. I've had a lot of fun, like I said, trading these last couple of days because it's just kind of the moves have been so obvious. For the longs, each dip's been buyed up. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Again, Opex. So, that could lead to more tricky type of trading conditions. Again, size down, don't trade, lower your expectations. But I hope this is a good picture for you guys to see, it had nothing to do with moving averages or anything. How you can take these trades just based on previous areas being retested and things like that. So, sell, buy, sell, but now it's a buy, buy. Okay? Very easy. The emotions is the hard part. So, but anyway, one other thing I did want to mention, because I was looking at it, was TNX and the dollar. I put a post about this in the tank, and I posted kind of a vague comment on Twitter about the dollar. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on TNX, This is something that's concerning, and the dollar and rates are kind of taking a step again into the spotlight as far as what the market is watching. So, look at this on TNX here, broke over the downtrend coming up. So, this could continue to be bad for the markets. Let's see if they top out. Maybe we've got another push to these highs right here. Very possible. And if we're gonna go back and just make things simple, what do we got? One. Now we're not there yet. We'll have to see we get there. But what do we have here? Now this one, of course, broke through, but reaction. And here, so 1, 2, 3, and you can see here there were some buys off this area. So let's watch that 39 area. So this could be an area where if we come up to that 39, could come back down. You could also make a bit of a case here for a little bit of a rising wedge. So hopefully, the bulls would need to see this sell off. But we could be in for a bear day tomorrow. So we'll see. We've got our downside targets, of course. Real quick, let me go over, because we did go over all the downside targets, but let's go over some of the bull targets really quickly. So I'd be looking again, to see about coming back up to this area, retesting here. That could be a potentiality for a short. We'll have to see, what happens overnight and kind of what pre-market's looking like. But if they can break back over this area, I'd be probably looking again for that retest of the 409.50. Very important. Another area where maybe you could consider a short. But again, if we get over that 409.50, 55 zone, let's look for this 410, 27.30. I'd be probably looking up here for around 411, and then maybe 412. So that kind of would be my game plan as far as the targets are concerned for the upside. But it's a big if we can, whether or not we can in fact get over this first zone here, the 408. Basically 408 to 450, 408.50 we'll call it, and then the 409.55. If you want a little bit more confirmation, then I probably wouldn't go long until getting over 409.55. It just depends on your style of trading. But like I had mentioned, we definitely have some of that. Some of those bullish, we're coming into a big liquidity on the daily, and then on the but we're mashed up, as I showed you before. On the daily, we're in between two of them. So let's see about coming down. Here also I'd consider maybe anywhere from that 404 down to 402. As long as we're over 400 for me, I'm still pretty much bullish. But watch this zone in here at 404 down to 402, because this is where we could be heading. If in fact, again, we break those levels I mentioned earlier, and if we do come into this zone, I might consider picking that up. You can see the reaction here earlier in the month. Boom, right off there. So if I was to do that, you just look for those retests of those previous areas as potential targets. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and you have a great long weekend. Trade safe, smart tomorrow. No need to force anything. And I will see you guys on the flip side. All right, take care.